Hi, in this section, we're talking about the 5-number summary and box plots. So this first page here really is just an overview of what I hope to cover in this lesson. One item for sure is the 5-number summary. And the 5-number summary is this set of 5 values that can be computed from a data set. Now, once we compute these, there's a really nice graphic for displaying them, and that is called a box plot. So we'll look at constructing a box plot. We'll look at the shape of the box plot, some things the plot could be displaying that's useful to know about the data set, some prerequisites. It would be really nice, in my opinion, if you'd already gone through the displaying data graphically lesson, because then the students would already have some graphing techniques under their belt. They would understand about labeling axes and titling the graph in Minitab. I think it's just some good experience because the box plot, I would say, is a bit tougher than the other graphs we've covered, like histograms or dot plots or stem and leaf. Its structure is somewhat special. So besides just having some basic graphing techniques coming into this lesson, there'll also be some very basic mathematical operations, multiplication, addition, but just very basic math in this lesson. What I hope that students will be able to gain from this lesson is how to generate this 5-number summary. How do you get these 5 numbers? And once we get these 5 numbers, it's really nice then to make a box plot to include these 5 numbers in it. I'd like to go through the box plot by hand. I think it makes a lot of sense once you see the structure of it. And once you understand how to make it by hand, then we'll go ahead and do it in Minitab. Then we'd like to know how to interpret this, right? So the box plot can show some very special qualities that I was talking about in the plot itself. Sometimes we can identify the shape of the data set, if there's any outliers in the data set. And one last learning target would be constructing side-by-side box plots. And we're just going to do this in Minitab. But this is side-by-side box plots are really nice for comparing two different data sets. So let's assume in college you collect data for something, some item on females and males. A good way to have a visual comparison of them in a graphic is a side-by-side box plot. So I'll show you how we can do that in Minitab. For the time required, it's always a little tough for me to gauge how long it will take someone to go through this material. I think about 30 minutes. Mostly what you have are definitions, how to get the 5-number summary. I think once you get that, putting them into the box plot and multiple comparison box plots aren't tough. And actually the Minitab is beautiful how it works. And so once we get through the by hand, Minitab can compute those 5 numbers for you, the box plots, the comparison. So definitely we want to focus on that. Materials required. There is posted the box plot lesson Minitab worksheet. So all the data that I use in this particular lesson are in that worksheet. Now the internet access you don't actually need until you get to the activities. And even if the students don't have internet access, there's no reason they have to do this particular exercise. And I've supplied data from one of my classes that have gone through this exercise. So it's not necessary, but sometimes students like a little activity to make it a little bit more exciting in class. So as an assessment, I've written an activity sheet that contains exercises very similar to the ones that are already in this lesson. So this is a great chance for them to practice on these exercises. I try to include quite a variety, and I also have an answer key. I try to make it detailed to hit upon points that students are usually confused about. So extensions to this, I think like I said before, it would be nice if they'd already gone through describing data numerically and describing data graphically before reaching the box plot set lesson. I think it would just make the box plot make a little more sense once they have graphing and they already have an idea of numerical summaries of data. As references, I've used a Minitab blog. The Minitab blog, anytime you need a little bit of help or forget how to do something, they have very nice lessons and tips, and so I actually frequent that site quite a bit just to get some ideas about how to use the different plots and numerical summaries. And this last website is just in case you decide in the activity section that you want your students to go through and collect their own data. So big point here, this lesson is on the box plot and the 5-number summary. In the videos that go with this lesson, I'll go through some definitions and some examples, and I think you'll feel good about it, and students, I believe, will like it. It's a fun section. So I hope this makes sense, and please feel free to watch the additional videos where I can give you a little bit more assistance on the computation and the plot. So we'll be talking again soon.